The never-ending humiliation ritual of Tectone, inflicted on Tectone by Tectone himself, continues. And what can I say, boys? It's the small things in life that matter. And that's not even my opinion. That is an official court testimony by Tectone himself, if you were wondering. In any case, what has our boy Techie done this time? Well, he decided to call Pirate Software out. And yes, it's a low-hanging fruit, but the funny part of this story is Tectone still managed to mess this one up even. Imagine that. Pirate Software actually is currently running laps around you because he looks just so much better than you. And what did exactly happen? Well, to catch you up to speed, this is kind of what happened. Tectone called out Pirate Software for actually not paying his mods because, you see, Tectone obviously knows everything. Except anything. And so he said, boldly in fact, if Pirate Software or anyone can prove that Pirate Software is paying his mods, then Tectone will donate money and gifted subs to Pirate Software and a charity of Pirate Software's choosing.
There any proof beyond Pirate Software's word that he's paying his mods full-time salaries?
I'm super happy to see that renowned Rumble streamer Tectone reaches out to Grok to get the hard-hitting information that he needs to, make the assumptions that he does.
No! There is no proof beyond their words because it's a fucking lie. It's bullshit. There is no way he is paying 12 employees a full-time salary because I know how much Pirate makes. He doesn't.
By the way, at this point, it's just safer to assume that literally anything Tectone says is a lie. So I really hope that he does not start talking about, the world being round or whatever, because then we have problems.
Make that much.
I'm sure if he was also streaming on Rumble, he'd be making way more money.
And I will gift him 100 subs if I'm wrong. He may have done this at a point. He no longer does this. And if I'm wrong, I will gift him, no, not 100. I'll gift him 200 subs. 200 subs. Or...
You heard that. The self-proclaimed millionaire is gifting 200 subs. What? My God. What a level of boldness and selflessness.
Or $5,000 to a charity of his choice. Show me that you're paying 12 moderators $60,000 a year with benefits over, you know what? I'll be gracious. Over the last 6 months.
Okay, so the funny part is, and this is where this clip pretty much should end. Thank you, Quintian. Very cool. This is where this pretty much ends. And by the way, why is he saying 60K a year? He just literally made this up. This is going to be information that matters a little bit later, roughly around here. So this is kind of what's happening. People are calling out Tectone currently on a lot of platforms because it is, let's be real, Tectone being wrong about something, not actually impressed at all. But Pirate Software getting an absolute slam dunk on someone. Now that's a once-in-a-lifetime situation at the end of the day. I love how you press the stop play button and it does nothing. Great design. Rumble streamer Tectone has been responded to Twitch streamer Pirate Software multiple times. Tectone states the following. Tectone blames a former mod, Sarah of the Lake, for pulling a 60K year claim because they chatted in his chat, and Tectone ran with it as an actual information. Not taking any responsibility for any of his actions. Man, where have we seen this before, boys? Tectone swears Grok specifically said 60K, and this is why I'm showing this, because, Grok at no point ever here stated 60K or anything like it, okay? Maybe he just saw a 6 number, and maybe a 6-7. 10 out of 10 subscribe, please. Like the video. Do it right now. It takes less than a second. I'm grateful to you, okay? Being this unemployed hurts me, and I need more people to feel as unemployed as I am on an average basis. Tectone doesn't want to pay 10K because that's a lot and should be 5K. Yes, this is literally where we're at here, by the way. Tectone has seen the evidence, which I'm gonna show in a bit, and he's already doubling down, tripling down, and quadrupling down on how little he should give. Because, you see, he's a millionaire, and that's a lot of money. I'm not kidding, by the way. He said that he's a millionaire, and that's a lot of money. For charity, by the way. Pirate needs to show specifically that the 60K a year is paid to 12 mods for 4 years. Then he changed it to 6 months to pay the blah blah blah. Tectone blames Sneaky Leaf for taking him out of context, lol. Yes, because, I mean, he's not being taken out of context. Tectone's just not the smart individual. He complains that Hassan does this while also doing the same thing he complains about. And yes, by the way, not to defend Hassan, because I would never, that's disgusting. My favorite part about Tectone is that he's gonna very blatantly often blame Hassan for something that he himself does. You gotta love Tectone, okay? The grift is real. Tectone says the proof is more redacted than Epstein's file list. Now that's impossible. Nothing's more redacted than that. Shouldn't be redacted and doesn't prove the context. Okay, so this is where we're gonna be looking at other stuff. Okay, not this one.
Bold-faced lie, like, oh, I'm going to pay, I pay all my employees a salary with benefits from Seattle, which is like where he is, right? I believe there's some deceptive language at like, you know, best case scenario, deceptive language, worst case scenario, flat out fucking lying, because Pirate Software, and he made these claims back in 2022, and he stays true to them until today, which is 4 years. There's no way that he's paying his employees $720,000 in total every year for 4 years. There's just no way that happens, right? Because the claim that I say is exactly this. Bullshit. There is...
Yes. Tectone is pretty much trying to double down, triple down, and quadruple down on pretty much everything that can be doubled down at this point. And it is honestly absolutely hilarious. And here we have... Oh, maybe there was also here. No, it was not. But here we have literally Pirate Software showing proof. And this is the actual timeline. Okay, so this is the Sneaky Leaf thing that we saw here. That claims Tectone's out of context, and here Pirate Software himself actually, on Twitch, shows the proof and talks about it, and here Pirate Software even responds to the tweet. Yep, show this live on stream. Staff at my studio are paid between 60 and 120 a year depending on role. I let a number of people go in a layoff recently, and many staff over the last years in a drought. This is just the situation. He's explaining it, that he let go a lot of staff and blah, blah, blah. But it's pretty unanimous that Pirate Software has 100% paid these people. I mean, logically speaking, if you're a mod who got let go by Pirate Software, and he was always lying about paying you, they would come out, and these are the transfers. Some of these people are actually earning a little bit less than that in a year, in a month, in a whatever, but that's because of the main reason that it's just as simple as some are not actually full-time employees, some are part-timers and whatnot, so the amount can actually differ. But in general, Pirate Software has provided perfectly fine enough proof about this. And here we can see this from the Twitch WAD.
Oh, first statement here is from Gusto, showing that I was completing all of these payments.
Yes, so Pirate Software also did not just leak these people. Pirate Software got their approval as much as it can be understood to show the actual amount of money paid.
To the number of U.S. staff that we had, these are the totals over on the side. Usually around $30,000 to $32,000 for U.S. staff. These here are wire transfers going to each one of the different staff members for those based on their role, based on the pay that they get. Some of them are part-time, so those values are less. And you can see these going all the way back to October.
So as you can see, it's very cut and dry. Pirate Software has more than enough evidence And what does our boy Tectone do when confronted with this evidence? Tectone states the full... By the way, I can't even add Tectone because he blocked me, but now I'm banned on Twitter because, well, reasons. Full criteria Pirate Software needs to prove Tectone to pay up, retract the claims he made. So, Tectone is now making shit up so he gets to leave this bet.
It's really not that deep. It's really not. But once again, if Pirate Software shows that he's paying, and very specific, 12 different moderators full-time salary, which is...
And again, now it's like, okay, you need 12. These are all the numbers that, by the way, Tectone himself is just making up. 12, 60k, he's just making all of this up. Because the multimillionaire is too poor to pay 5k to charity.
$44,000 annually, and you show me the past 6 months. So, and I'm going to write this out very clear. I'm going to write this out very clear so that way this can be sent. Okay. $44,304 annually. Okay.
Do you think Tectone knows what the word annually means, by the way?
12 different, right? 12 different mods. 6 months prior to now. These are the 3. Okay? Thor, I got no issues with you at all. I got no...
Please, Your Honor, my client is Tectone. There should be some level of leniency because he's not smart at all.
No desire to have issues with you at all. But the problem is that when you're messing with fucking mods and making them feel like they're being taken advantage of, that annoys the fuck out of me. So let's make it very clear.
By the way, where is that coming from? I literally have no idea. No one knows what Tectone is yapping about most of the time. That's why he is so special.
Okay, let's just write it out. March. March. Absolutely. 100%.
Now, granted, at some point, most likely, Tectone is going to be forced to give this because, I mean, Pirate Software has tried to contact him and prove this for a while now, and Tectone's just continuing to move the goalpost and ignore him. My God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, boys. But that's our boy Techie at the end of the day. Truly special. Anyway, thanks for watching. At some point, remember, he's probably going to be forced into giving this money. Chances are he doesn't have any money because losing a court case with 5 lawyers is very expensive. And the fact that we saw his literal original take on this kind of makes me think that Tectone has no money. Because you need to keep in mind, sure, he made a decent amount of money, but a lot of that money got straight into things like gacha gaming and view botting. So Tectone most likely is not sitting on a lot of money. So that's why Tectone is pretty sparse with it. And currently being a Rumble streamer, Tectone is probably making, I don't know, maybe $5 a month. If he's lucky, honestly, at this point. So, Tectone, needless to say, does not want to part with any of his money because he doesn't have any money. And Pirate Software, for all his faults, I don't think Pirate Software view-botted to get where he was while he was at his peak. I will say that much. So, Pirate Software made way more money than Tectone. This is why Tectone is in the disbelief that Pirate Software could pay these sums of money to his mods every month. Not every month, but, yearly. Well, actually, also monthly. That's why he is in disbelief, because he probably assumed Pirate Software is doing all of the botting and all of the stuff also. That wasn't the case. In any case, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.